Hey lovelies, it's Kate. Welcome back to another Sims 4 speed build. I decided to build a lodge or cabin, whatever you want to call this. I built this in Henford-On-Begley. This is a 50 by 40 lot, and it's the one that usually, or by default, has a park on it. So it's like some type of park. I have no idea. And I just wanted to use this lot because it's just perfect. There's so many trees around, and I've created multiple cabins in the past. I love this style, and usually I really like to build this type of house in Granite Falls, which is the world that is a part of Auto Retreat. But in this case, I just wanted to try something new, but I still wanted to use a lot that kind of makes sense for this style. So I decided to turn this park into a residential lot, and then I started to build on this lot. I also did a little oopsie. This is a 50 by 40 lot, as I said. I started to build on the lot, and every lot has a front. And when you upload a build to the gallery, the front is visible in the gallery thumbnail. And I kind of just started to randomly build. I didn't check. I usually always check where the front is, but I didn't. And after I was pretty much done, I've realized that the front isn't the front when it comes to this build. The side is the front. The problem is this isn't a square lot. It's rectangular, and I can't just rotate it. So I'm sorry. But you could always use a 50 by 50 lot, and then you could rotate it, or you just place it on this lot here, because to be honest, it doesn't really matter. It's like a random lot in the middle of nowhere. It's just a park. There's just nature, forest, trees around it, so it doesn't matter. I just wanted to mention this. So this build is CC free and unmodded in the gallery as always. I've used the 2 mod, you may have already spotted that here, but it's still unmodded in the gallery because that's the magic about the 2 mod. You won't need the mod to download this from the gallery, and everything will still be in place. So you don't need any mods, you don't need any CC, you can just grab this from the gallery. I started off by working on some type of walk-in basement situation. Is it walk-out? Walk-in? I don't know, but a basement. And I did that by building a room, and then I used the arrow to drag the room down until it was kind of inside the terrain. I then flattened the terrain and expanded the build at the top by adding another room. So I did it the typical KateEmerald way. I didn't build a complete shell. I just started to work on a couple of rooms. I fully decorated them on the outside, and then I expanded the build section by section. And here at this point, I knew that I would like to have some type of balcony, some type of terrace, a patio, whatever, just an area to hang out for your Sims. And I wanted to incorporate different stairs because I used a platform in the front. I used platforms in general a lot for this build, or also in the interior, as you will see, which makes the interior super special in my opinion. And I just added lots of columns everywhere, as you just saw, because I really wanted to add lots of detail so it looks really beautiful. And then eventually I decided, as you will see, to turn this balcony into a round balcony. And for this, I'm going to use a round floor piece, as you can see here. I'm always using the one with a fence attached to it, so you could technically turn this into a perfect circle or half circle. Here in this case, it doesn't really matter because it's not really perfectly circular either way. There are like some regular floor pieces between the 2 round sections basically, but I think it's a nice eye catcher to have a round shape. You know, I love round shapes. And then I started to work on some stairs. As I've just mentioned, I wanted to connect everything. I've added lots of stairs, and I created just some fake stairs essentially using some debug objects. I've done this before. I like to use a base game debug column for this, and in this case I've also used a base game wood plank just so the stairs would look wooden. Tool has a feature which allows you to group objects, which just makes life easier in general. So what I did was, in the very beginning, like the beginning of the creation of these stairs, I just placed the column, and then I attached the wood planks, and then I just grouped all these objects, and then I just duplicated each step essentially and rotated them. When I do this, I raise each step by 0.3 and I rotate by 10 or 15 depending on what I'm going for, and then I just placed the stairs right at my round patio. And then I decided to hide some real proper stairs inside these debug stairs. So your Sims are going to ignore all these debug objects, at least the ones that I've used for these stairs, and your Sims are going to use the real proper stairs that I've hidden on the inside. So the stairs are functional. It just looks a bit funny, but it works. And I also had to remove the round section on the left side, sadly, because I realized that I have to attach the real stairs that I've hidden inside my fake stairs, and you can't just attach stairs to a round section. It's not working. So I had to change this, but I made it work, so you can't really tell. So I decided to use some tricks and place some objects here and there so it would look like a round section, but it's not really round, and this way the balcony still makes sense. And this was some type of milestone. I don't know why, but I randomly get the milestone that I've been playing for 24 hours. Like The Sims, I think it always happens when you create a new save file, probably, because I was running into a couple of problems recently. I've talked about this in my last speed build, some technical difficulties, and I started a new save file. I mean, it doesn't matter for me. I sometimes get this question. I just randomly build, and I save all my builds to my library, and I share them, like the finished product, to the gallery, and that's it. So I don't really care where I'm building. I just randomly create new save files sometimes. I just bulldoze builds. I don't really care where I'm building as long as I like the lot, so I don't really take care of that. I don't create any save files or something. I just start to build, and I'm just relieved as long as everything is safe and sound in the gallery, I guess. So that's it. And yeah, and my library, of course. So I sometimes just create a new save file, and then you get the notification that you've been playing for 24 hours, which is funny. Here I'm expanding the build a bit more. The windows are from, I think, maybe Snowy Escape. I don't even know. I just wanted to use a window that would allow me to just stack them to have these huge windows. Sometimes I really like to have a modern twist when it comes to cabins or lodges, and I am going to use a couple of modern windows later on when I'm creating some type of sunroom, but here I really wanted this to look quite traditional. I've used some of the wood planks that I've also used for the stairs just to have some type of corbel, and I've also created a roof decoration the same way. And I just wanted to have a build that has a nice shape, but is not too big. It is big, but it's not like gigantic. And as you will see, I'm going to turn the room at the very bottom into some type of room just for gathering. Your Sims could even have a party down there, which is always fun. And I mean, you could even place this build in Granite Falls, which is a vacation world. So Sims could just go on vacation in this house, or they could live in this house. When I think Cottage Living came out, oh no, Snowy Escape, I think. When Snowy Escape came out, they added a feature which allows us to turn any residential lot into a rental lot as well. So your Sims could go on vacation everywhere. I think a couple of lots in Montgomery Abbey are by default rental lots, because this is when they introduced it, if I'm not mistaken, and you could just use this build for all kinds of different things. I think it would be great for a vacation. There are multiple rooms, so enough Sims could stay over. You have a room for just having a party, and it's just beautiful, and I think it could be perfect. I've also, as you will see, finally used the pond tool again. I'm still stuck using pools because I'm just so used to it. I've always used pools to create some fake ponds, and suddenly the pond tool arrived, and it of course just makes sense to use it whenever a new feature was added to build mode. I started to use it heavily all the time, but I don't know, just forget about pond tools, I think, even though it's so cool. But I mean, the good thing about pools is that Sims can actually swim in them, and they can swim in ponds, which is sad, so there's that, I guess. Here I'm working on the roof. This is an object from Cottage Living, which is just perfect. Sometimes you just need a really random wooden beam just to add some detail to your build, just like using shelves as some type of exterior trim. Here I'm working on a sunroom. As I said, I wanted to add a bit of a modern twist, just a couple of modern windows. These windows are from the Snowy Escape pack. I really like to combine them with the glass floor from Island Living because they have the same dimensions. When you just add your glass floor on top, you have a cube made out of glass basically. But I didn't want to go overboard, I didn't want to have too many modern elements, so I eventually just added a regular roof, and here I'm starting to manipulate the terrain a bit. At the very beginning, I lowered my room into the ground to create the basement situation, as I've explained. So I, at this point, had already kind of set the scene for the whole terrain situation, but I hadn't manipulated the terrain any further up until this point. But I thought, okay, just have to work on the backyard, I guess. So I started to add lots of ponds, and I knew that I would like to add lots of debug rocks, and for some reason it always flooded my build and I had to undo this. I thought that you just couldn't let these ponds overflow, but I did multiple times and I just clicked on undo because I was just paranoid that it just deleted random objects. I hate when this happens, when you just don't notice that something got deleted and it's just gone, and then you start to work on a different section of the house and you're like, what has been going on? This has happened to me when I was working on the Iron Man mansion. I was just working on something and moving rooms around. And as you know, when you sometimes move a room or a foundation, it sometimes just moves some random objects to the side, for example. And I had created this really elaborate, huge roof made out of the Sparta Stony Goodness slabs, like lots of them. And everything was just kind of a big mess because I had moved them around without noticing, and I had to undo so many steps, or maybe I even just exited because I had saved after creating the roof, and then I went back, and of course I lost the progress after creating the roof. But the roof was so hard to create, so much work, that I just want to go back to the point where the roof was still intact because I totally didn't want to redo the roof again. Here I just worked a bit on the inside. I had raised the foundation because I had raised the foundation on the platform, on the exterior. And of course, you then also have to raise your platform on the interior a bit. But here at this point, I'm not working on the floor plan yet. I'm still working on the outside, just some details. I wanted to have an outdoor kitchen and a barbecue grill. That's a must for a build like this. I added a sofa from Outdoor Retreat, which is just the perfect pack for this style, of course, and just different tables and chairs, so you have different areas where you could just sit and maybe have a barbecue or just hang out in general. Lots of benches, different things, and I just wanted to add some details. So wanted to have some vines. These are from Debug from Discovery University, and you also have some from Cottage Living. You don't even have to access Debug for this. These are also beautiful. And here I'm working on the interior. You can see that I really had some fun using the platforms. I wanted to have a raised section where I'm having the kitchen, so when you cook up there you could just look down and you see everyone hanging out. So it's a open concept, open floor plan. I always like to do this, but in this case, I really wanted to make it extra interesting. I've used some NoCC gallery art to just make it look special. I'm going to add all the information to the description box to give credit as well. And I just wanted to have a really special kind of vibe to this. So I really wanted to have a interesting floor plan. I loved to watch Home Improvement as a kid, and I always liked the whole floor plan in that house or that set because there were different levels, different platform levels, just a little bit. If I'm not completely mistaken, but in my memory there were different levels, different platforms a bit, and also the open concept, which of course just makes sense for a sitcom for filming because everyone is just kind of hanging around each other, just for storytelling purposes. But I always loved that. I just love the look, and I wanted to do something similar here. And at this point I totally gravitated towards a relatively modern interior, but I also made sure to incorporate all the colors from the exterior to make it look like a cabin, so it looks really luxurious and warm, but also modern. I don't know, it just happens. I've talked about this before. Whenever I'm furnishing, I just start to furnish one room. I'm picking a couple of objects, and this kind of sets the mood for the whole interior. And I guess that's what happened after working on the kitchen. It's just a bit modern. But here, these chairs, for example, are from Outdoor Retreat, so it's a nice, fun mix. I've also used these vines from Eco Lifestyle, different things, and the sunroom was just perfect to have a dining room. I just wanted to have a beautiful dining room, and it's all nice and just so lovely. I love how this looks. I would love to live there. I've added some shelves to this area. I really like the look because they're kind of merged into the stairs. The shelves are from Dream Home Decorator, and I've just added a couple of books. These books are functional. They are just like a bookshelf. I love this update. They've added it, I don't know when, but in some random update, and I love this. It's always great when an object is just not decorative, but when it serves a purpose. And I'm pretty sure that there are more objects which could be turned into proper functional objects probably, but I don't know. This is one of the best rooms. I've only included one in the video. I tried to make it look special, but it's also like the shape is relatively simple, and I also tried to keep it modern, yet a bit, I don't know, rustic in a way, I guess. I've also used some of these shelves. I love them. I love the Dream Home Decorate objects, but especially these shelves and this little plant, which looks like a feather. I have no idea what it's called, but I like the pack and lots of objects from the pack. Here I'm adding a bookshelf in the corner. I thought that this area, this little nook, which also has these windows, is just perfect for a desk. So it's a little office corner. Here I'm using more No CC gallery art. Again, take a look at the description box, please, and check these amazing creators out. And I'm also going to tag them in the gallery where I'm uploading this build. You should totally check out the gallery. And here is a second living room, basically. So we have one, just a formal living room where you can just hang out, maybe entertain guests. And this is just the area for watching TV, like a family room or something. So I've added a TV. And in this corner where you can see the TV and the plants, I'm actually going to add some stairs in this corner, because I've realized that there is a room below, like the basement, that I've created at the very beginning. And I kind of forgot about this. And this here is the basement, actually, the room for gathering and just hanging out, having a party maybe even. And I almost forgot this, so I eventually added some stairs right in this corner. So yes, Sims can walk down there and access this area. Sometimes, I don't know, floor plans are confusing. Like if you really build a shell beforehand and make a plan, then this stuff just doesn't happen. But when you randomly expand a build and then try to make it make sense, things happen, I guess. This is one of the bedrooms. I wanted to incorporate a toddler room. I've talked about this in a recent speed build, that I want to add some nurseries and toddler rooms and stuff more often, because I always just build master bedrooms and just regular kids rooms. So I wanted to have some toddler rooms and some nurseries and not just kids rooms. So I incorporated one. But this is a kid's room, and I wanted to make sure to incorporate enough bedrooms. These aren't really spacious, but I think there's so much to do and explore on this lot. You don't really need super big bedrooms, especially if you use this as a rental lot. So I didn't want to add too much stuff. I still made it look like regular bedrooms in the sense of adding some personal items and decorations and toys. Whenever I'm working on a proper rental lot, I always try to not customize it too much, basically, because when you have a rental lot, a hotel room, it's like really plain and neutral. There aren't any personal belongings. But here in this case, it's just a regular house, but you could still, as I said, use it as a rental lot if you would like to. And this is almost it. This video is coming to an end. Thank you so much for watching. You can here see lots of screenshots. As I said, this build is available in the gallery. My ID is KateEmerald. You can get the trade files on my Patreon. And speaking of which, it is time to thank my wonderful Emerald Patreons. A big thank you to Asia, Dawn Bryce, Jennifer Lewis, Kellen Rennie, Matthew Stell, Shannon McClam, Chelena Lynn, Victoria Smithies, and 2 Cats Tailoring. Thank you so much for your big support. Thank you to all my other Patreons. Thank you to anyone who watches my videos and who comments, and just thank you for all of your support. I love you so much. I hope you are doing well. And yeah, check out this build in the gallery. My ID is KateEmerald, as I said. I hope you will have a perfect day and week, and I hope I see you in the next video. Bye bye.